Time magazine called him the unsung hero behind the internet. CNN called him a father of the internet. President Bill Clinton called him one of the great minds of the information age. He has been voted history's greatest scientist of African descent. He is Philip Emeagwali. He's coming to Trinidad and Tobago to launch the 2008 Kwame Ture lecture series on Sunday, June 8th at the JFK Auditorium, New St. Augustine, 5 p.m. The Emancipation Support Committee invites you to come and hear this inspirational mind adjust the theme, crossing new frontiers to conquer today's challenges. This lecture is one you cannot afford to miss. Admission is free, so be there on Sunday, June 8th, 5 p.m. at the JFK Auditorium, New St. Augustine.
In 1946, the programmable supercomputer was invented to compute automatically, to compute faster. For me, Philip Emeagwali, my technological quest was for the fastest supercomputer that I could program to make the impossible to solve problems arising in extreme scaled computational physics possible to solve and possible across a new internet that is a new global network of 65,536 tightly coupled processors, with each processor operating its own operating system, and with each processor having its own dedicated memory that shared nothing between each other. That necessity to solve the most extreme scaled problems arising in computational physics took me to the crossroads of mathematics, physics, supercomputer, and internet sciences. During the 16 years onward of June 20, 1974, I sojourned from a system of equations of algebra that I solved on a sequential processing supercomputer to the crossroad between the laws of physics and the partial differential equations of calculus. I continued my sojourn to the crossroad between calculus and the system of equations of algebra. I continued my sojourn to the crossroad between algebra and a set of floating point operations of arithmetic. I continued my sojourn to the crossroad between arithmetic and my new global network of processors that is a new internet. I experimentally discovered that the processors are to the modern supercomputer what the elements are to the periodic table. I experimentally discovered that the processors are the basic building blocks of the modern supercomputer, just as atoms are the basic building blocks of molecules. I experimentally discovered that computational physics is at the foundation of the fastest supercomputer, just as axioms are at the foundation of axiomatic mathematics. I experimentally discovered that the regular short and equidistant email wires that I visualized as fiber optic wires of the Philip Emeagwali internet are its basic building blocks, just as the hypercube is constructed from the cube and is constructed from the regular and equidistant edges of the hypercube from lower dimensions. I visualized the new Philip Emeagwali internet as a small copy of the planetary-sized internet and as a new global network of 64 binary thousand tightly coupled already available processors that is de facto one seamless cohesive unit that is the fastest supercomputer that computed in parallel or computed by solving 64 binary thousand initial boundary value problems at once. My experimental discovery of the massively parallel processing supercomputer was independent of processor technology. That experimental discovery was a blueprint for a new internet that in turn is a prototype of the Philip Emeagwali cosmic supercomputer. I invented that cosmic supercomputer in the 1970s and 80s, and I describe it as a machine that can accurately be used to forecast the weather.
Insightful and brilliant lecture.